Welcome to the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism.
I am Dr. Patasha Blanton.
And I'm Mark Blanton, and the owners. And we have amazing packages coming to Johannesburg. Everything we do is 5-star. Everything is private. And what else, Tasha?
Everything we do is exclusive and made just for you.
So all I can say is go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com. We'll see you here.
Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We are so pleased that you have joined us, family. I'm certain by now many of you have already seen our footage and some of my broadcasts in particular on this Joy Reid. Of course, I have been on different platforms, different networks over the years, and everybody said, Vicki, you have given Joy Reid for years and years and years, non-stop everlasting work. And so I talked about it briefly on the go on my platform, and certainly I've discussed it here in other places. And I want us to continue discussing certain elements of it. Now, family, I always like to preface these kinds of conversations for a reason. You don't just talk about something because it's the news. That's important, obviously, that we respond to things that are happening. But you have to ask yourself sometimes, who dictates the topic, the theme for the day? That means that sometimes the powers that shouldn't be, who control what's pumped into the masses' minds, they are the ones that determine the agenda and what needs to be focused on. So when your issues are ignored, when your things go unresolved, when you aren't prioritized, it's because you didn't make your issues a priority. When you find yourself feeling empathetic and sympathetic for the plight of other people, which is great, and you wonder why our own people have continued to suffer for hundreds of years and not gotten even a modicum of support and tangibles that some of these other people groups have gotten, it is because we have just taken on the talking points of what's been dictated for the day. And baby, we don't do that over here. Talk black to me, somebody. So we want to continue, no matter how often the mainstream media is talking about something, to keep our issue at the forefront. So just because someone was fired like Joy Reid from MSNBC the other day doesn't mean that we don't learn from the larger lessons. Why? Because it's not just Joy Reid, one individual's job that's affected by this. Which that's not my problem. Because when Joy Reid tried to silence folks like me and my voice, where was the outcry then? What was everybody worried about? What is they going to do to their business, their career? How they going to pay their bills and stuff? Talk black to me, somebody. This is bigger than just Joy Reid. Why? Because she represents the mouthpiece of a government and a party who is antithetical to the needs of its most loyal voting bloc. Foundational Black Americans, FBA, which is a lineage. It's not a club. It's not a group. Talk black to me, somebody. So I want us to learn from these mistakes. but not learn from the mistakes only. I want us to see the multiple moving parts of power so that we can engage and take hold of those levers of power to drive home our agenda and get results. Where is my gavel? Talk black to me, somebody. Did you catch that? We not just sit up here and talk about, oh, she fired. No, we want to know who was involved. How did it go down like that? And what can we do to address the unseen hidden hands involved so that we can drive our agenda and know the other players involved in decision making? How many of you all know that there are White House officials that are involved in the agenda making of these cable news organizations, legacy media organizations, establishment media? How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all understand that the Democrat Party and high-level politicals are involved in the news? How many of you all know that very, very wealthy, high, powerful corporations and companies who pay for ad time and some more stuff on these networks? How many of you all know? So when you start seeing certain agendas, medical agendas, weapons agendas, war agendas being pushed, guess who's behind paying the bills of those networks? That's why voices like ours are so important. And it's also why they're so despised. And it's also why you on the ground are responsible for making sure that you engage, that you share, that you support, and that you tune in, and that you tell others about it. Yes? Now, with that being said, one of the things that I want us to focus on now, and I want the team, if they could, in just a moment, to get ready, a video clip of Joy Reid. Now, I don't just attack somebody and go off somebody just because Vicki just want to talk about something. No, it's something behind it. And that's the reason why so many of my supporters said, Vicki, you've been on this for so long and you were quite foretelling and prophetic about this for a long, long time. Now, one of the major things that I think some of you all have forgotten and some of you may not have known about is one major example of Joy Reid intentionally and specifically targeting foundational Black Americans. Not only foundational Black Americans, but also other Black groups, alleged Black groups, alleged Black organizations like ADOS. I won't get into all that. I have my own individual issues with some of the leadership there. I acknowledge that there are some good, well-meaning folks that are attached to that, but I also acknowledge at the top that there are some troubling folks at the top. I say that because years ago, they came for me. So I don't need nobody telling me about, I don't need nobody telling me nothing. I had to do some straightening. I was one of the first to call out the top leadership there for coming for me. So again, I acknowledge those of you that are well-meaning when it comes down to ADOS. So those of you that are about that life for reparations for Black folks without prioritizing the Democrat Party or one of their other little subgroups in their agenda, we on the same page. But just to keep things simple for me, I just use, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, something along those lines. I'm not trying to get caught up in titles and terms. If your heart is right, your motive is right, then let's just leave it there, okay? I don't need no crazy comments and, it's not, just don't miss the point. We at war, okay? I'm just differentiating that little bit because I want y'all thinking about that faction of them that's about the agenda and the Democrat Party. Talk black to me. Make me hit my gavel again on that one. I don't need nobody to tell me nothing when somebody come for me years ago. Some of y'all knew. Some of y'all ain't been keeping up for 5 and 6 years about what's been going on. And some of you certainly want the direct target of the leadership of that group. Now, put that aside, Vicki. With that being said, because that name is going to come up in this conversation, that's why I prefaced it with that. I'm not just running my mouth talking. I'm emphasizing if you are about reparations for foundational Black Americans who are the descendants of slaves in the United States of America, yes, then I want you to know that we were a very specific target, not just generally speaking. Now, the clip that you're going to see, and of course, like I said, I've been dealing with this for many years on multiple networks, on multiple platforms. But I'm not only me, I've noticed over time, of course, others in the Black grassroots media spaces, what I call Black grassroots media spaces, have been discussing this as well. Now, in a recent video not too long ago, I saw this clip. I was really looking for a concise clip of this MSNBC clip. And this is the easiest clip that I found from Professor Black Truth. Now, I'm just going to show the part from MSNBC. Of course, again, some of y'all know I've been discussing this for a long time, but I like to just give credit to where credit is due for anybody else, along with myself and others that address these sorts of issues. Of course, there are many others. I'm not trying to get in trouble by name calling, but I'm just saying I want to use this specific part of the clip. And why? Because the date is on this clip. Now, when you're listening, I want y'all to listen closely to the clip we're getting ready to play. But then I want you all to look at the year and the month. And then when you see a chart that's going to come up shortly after that, I want y'all to really pay attention. Now, once you watch me live now, I want you to watch the replay later. And then I want you to share it. And then I want you to have a couple, 3 meetings with some of your family and friends and loved ones, and I want you to show it to them. I want to show you specific evidence from years ago where we were specifically targeted to be sabotaged by the Joy Reids of the world. Y'all know I've been calling her Joyless Reids for years. And the Democrat Party, specifically their affiliates, individuals connected to them, and media. I want you to see it was a collaborative thing that they were doing. Watch this clip.
One of the things that you talk about, both in the report, and I've spoken with you about this before, is pushing out negative information about a candidate that's been selected, to be targeted, to turn Black voters against them. But it's who they're using as the voice, quote unquote, the digital voice, are supposedly also Black people who are spreading that message. And here's what you write about fake accounts that are not necessarily really Black people, but who seem to be Black people who are saying, hey, Kamala's a cop, or this person is bad for Black people. Quote, fake accounts pretending to be Black women matter, not only in the disinformation campaigns, but in every election. There has been a constant number, you write, of fake accounts posing as Black women since 2013. These fake accounts, which pretend to be Black women, seem to be real people with real concerns. They connect with the American Black community online, attempting to learn Black vernacular and key issue areas.
We have identified at least 5 existing campaigns that are focused on getting Black people to do only one thing, not vote for the Democrats.
And can you name one of those 5 campaigns? I mean, we put up from the report that you're saying that there's a conversation about reparations that has to do with it. There's a criminal justice conversation. Yes. There's an immigration. Go on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Reparations, immigration, reparations, immigration, and anything that has to do with the criminal justice system. So the reason that the targeting of Kamala around being a cop is important is because anything that hinges on criminal justice becomes a divisive issue.
But how can people tell the difference between the real, genuine thing of Black Lives Matter and the ones that are just designed to make you not vote? How do you even tell?
So you can tell right away by the language that they use most of the time. But if you see anyone who says basically tangibles or you're not getting our vote without us getting something back, you should start to pause and take a better look at what they're saying. Better look at those accounts and seeing what they're saying.
Family, did you hear that? How can you tell the difference between the real voices out there, the real accounts out there, and the fake ones? Anybody that's telling you not to vote for the Democrats, folks that's pushing reparations. Did you all see the date on that? 2019. That was very specific. Let me hit the gavel on that. Joy was on MSNBC with a cute little bundle ponytail. Talk Black to me, baby. She was shining and stuff, melanin popping. Fresh and new, real strong with a new little position whenever she started around it. I think about 5 years ago or so when she officially started her new, you know, she was with MSNBC before they gave her her show on primetime. Y'all know that, right? So she got her own thing getting ready to go now. She finna let it shine. And stop. Somebody put a sign in the chat. Melanin and stuff popping real strong. Was feeling herself. Now, just like I keep exposing and reminding you all that the boule type like Rowling was plotting and scheming with the Clinton campaign and others behind the scenes. They didn't disclose that to the public when they were doing interviews with these Democratic operatives and people, were they? No. But they were scheming to assist them. Was Joy Reid behind the scenes scheming? And who was she scheming with? There's no question she was in direct contact with them. That's not the question. Vicki's saying that based on information and belief. I always like to do disclaimers. Y'all know I am a very responsible media personality. But the question is exactly who. And I wonder if some of you all who worked on the campaign or other individuals are willing to come forward and tell us exactly who that is. Do you all see now why I am so supportive of the upcoming hearing and investigation that's involving Chicago Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson? Remember, he's scared to death and his whole team about all of the cache of information that Congress is asking for. They're asking for all kinds of communications, digital communications, email communications, phone communications with multiple entities and people. I told you all might just find out there's a greater scandal going on than even the immigration stuff. I told y'all probably gonna find out all kind of stuff that they're concerned about. That's what I want to know. I certainly believe, based on information and belief, that she was in contact with a close Hillary Clinton campaign person, if not Hillary Clinton herself. Because of some other coverage that she was doing. But keeping it to what you just heard. How about them apples, family? Team, can you all pull up the chart right now for me? Can y'all pull up the chart? Now, y'all, in this clip that you just saw, I want to emphasize the chart that the lady put up. Yes? There was a chart that they referred to that they had put up. Yes, okay. I want y'all to take a close look at the chart, family. Now, in case any of y'all confused, if you don't understand what they're doing to target you, to label you, to destroy us, if you all don't understand that we are more powerful than they can actually say, why? Because they spent time trying to stop us. Some Democrats, some of them White House officials said, Joy, let's get them under control. Get them. What does it say? Report. Y'all see what the headline says? Disinformation targets and actors. Is Vicki exaggerating when she tells you that you were specifically targeted? No, because they say it. You better not miss just how they were targeting you. We're not going to let up, baby. Put your cowboy boots in the chat. Put your stilettos in the chat. Keep going, Vicki. ADOS. Y'all see, that's why I brought that up a minute ago. Now you understand why I brought up ADOS a minute ago? I don't want to get into no fights with y'all. If you are really about reparations without any allegiances, first and foremost, or prioritization of a political party like the Democrats or some other subgroup, then don't worry about this. But there are some parts of ADOS that's not about this. But American descendants of slaves, if that's all you about and that's your focus, then you are a target for reparations too. Blexit, y'all remember that? I think Candace Owens had something to do with some of that too. Tangibles. Look at the language. What does it say next to tangibles, family? It not only spells out, it not only says hashtag FBA, but it wants you to be clear of what FBA is and who FBA is. Foundational Black Americans. Of course, it also refers to Black Voices for Trump and Walk Away. It says list of issues targeting Black voters. Reparations, criminal justice, climate change, and immigration. Specifically, those three top items that we discussed were what? Reparations, the immigration issue, and criminal justice. Do you all see that the source of this report, y'all see on this report, y'all see at the bottom of the report what it says? The source of this report is from top online. The source is Stop Online Violence Against Women. Now that Black lady that's sitting up there talking to her group is one of them little subgroups and stuff that got access to Joy and the Democrats and all that. And they try to act as a liaison like they're the ones that's looking out and targeting us and watching us and looking for us. Do you see you're a target, Black family? And we've been a target for the past several years. Thank you, team, for putting that up. Why did I want us to look real close at this? Because those who are well-meaning from ADOS and those of us who are part of Foundational Black Americans, which we refer to ourselves as a lineage and not a group, if you're about reparations, and if you made the demands from your Democrat Party that if they do not push what you tell them to push, that you have no intention of voting for them, they saw you as a problem and they called you a disinformation group, misinformation group, and they went so far as Joy and her guest said we weren't even real. They referred to as so-called in some instances. Did y'all hear that, family? Do you all understand just how serious this is? Do you all understand that the Democrats early on refused to come to us in good faith, to talk about this, to negotiate this, to hear from us? Instead, they silenced us. They pretended we didn't exist. And they knew we were so powerful. We were such a threat. We are such a force that they said, let's target them. Let's hire and connect with organizations like that one that you just saw up there, and mouthpieces and spokesperson like that, to watch them and then to label them. Yes? Our threat and our power, Black family, and this is what I want us to focus on. These are some of the lessons I want us to learn from this. And I want us to make a commitment to double down on our demands, but also our calls to actions. Yes, online and offline. We are so real. Our threat and our power that your Democrats work to punish us and to silence us. We are so real. They worked to change political meetings, rules, and regulations to prevent you from even having proximity to your own lawmakers. We were such a threat that they told you that you got to have a state ID to even come. We were such a threat that they told you that you need to register in advance so that they can vet you before you come. Until a third-party government watch organization had to tell, for example, Democrat Mayor Brandon Johnson, you may want to change these rules, ninja, because you might be in violation of the law, silly. And the Democrats were forced to rescind. We're such a threat. And I'm specifically talking about Black Foundation American groups and those that are about that life of real members of the ADOS, of folks that have a right heart about that and connection. Watch this. And I'm going to keep saying this. Remember, the DNC actually considered not holding an in-person a convention, remember? They actually contemplated holding a digital DNC. Why does Vicki keep talking about that? Because they were willing to put at risk one of their major promo events because you threatened them so much and they thought that they were going to be embarrassed live during the week of the DNC because of you, Black Chicago. They ended up not going that way, but they seriously considered it because you all told them that because you ignored our voices, silenced us, threatened us, targeted us, we're going to find another way to make our voices heard. Why is Vicki emphasizing this? Because now Joy and others like her want us to give a crap about what they think of the fact that some network got rid of them, even though their ratings were horrible and terribly low. She wants us to believe that they got rid of her because she Black. No, baby. Like our sister Sabby Sabs, who covered my broadcast here recently. Shout out to her. She's a former Bernie Sanders aide and stuff. And y'all know them groups don't like it when, even though she rebelled against them and stuff, but she's very educated. She's a political. She understands the ground and campaigns, and she's an expert on a lot of that kind of stuff. Y'all know they don't like them kind of folks covering us, baby. She made it clear. Let's not act like they fired Joy just because she Black. Because why? They replaced her with Simone Sanders. And y'all, why am I tripping? What's the man's name, the Republican name? Y'all, what is that Republican man? I am tripping. We live and direct. Y'all remind me, what is the Republican man name on MSNBC? They're doing a 3-panel show that's going to replace Joy. Michael Steele. For those of you that don't know about Michael Steele, thank you, Spirit. Michael Steele has been a long time Republican. But even though I certainly don't agree with his positions prior to him coming over to the other side, he's starting to fool with the Democrats because the Republicans rejected him. But even though I don't care for Michael Steele and I don't stand for any of his positions, what you have to know is that Michael Steele was so effective in the Republican Party, he was the chairman of the RNC. That's the equivalent of the DNC. And he is the one that was responsible for getting multiple of them taking back the Congress and the House and stuff like that back in the day. It was because of his strategic mind in multiple districts throughout the United States that the Republicans prevailed and they kicked him in the behind. And that's when he turned on them. So their black Republican conservative, Michael Steele, he used his genius to assist the Republicans and get them back in power. He got them results. And they let him go. So he turned on them. So just so y'all know, that's why that's why he be giving them the everlasting works, baby, because the Republicans turned on him. And he dogged Obama, dogged the Democrats, dogged out. I mean, he was terrible and horrible. But when they turned on him, that's when he turned. But he did give them results. I don't agree with all the stuff that they do on that side. But I ain't gonna lie, Michael Steele was an effective former chairman of the RNC. And they let him go. He and Simone Sanders, who's a Democrat, they make up 2 of the 3 new panelists for this new show that's supposed to be replacing Joy Reid. So this ain't about no. Do you all understand why I keep saying there's a difference between being B1 and D1? How many of y'all know that in the black grassroots, when we say B1, that means black first. That means we don't put political labels. For example, Democrat, Republic. We don't put socioeconomic labels. We don't put religious labels or any other labels over being black first. Why? Because see, when you get confused and you start finding, when you start identifying more with the party, you will understand a racist Joe Biden and reject a racist Donald Trump. When we're saying, no, we don't supposed to like either one like that. When we start seeing, that's when we say something wrong with you. When Trump can say racist stuff, do racist stuff, but Biden can say you ain't black if you don't vote for him. Biden can say that America is doomed, not just because of black folks, but because white folks getting ready to be the minority in America come 2040. See, you'll justify your favorite racist. You understand? And we say, no, we don't supposed to like neither one of them. We supposed to be just about business and policy. You see? We're supposed to like one over the other and give this one a pass on this issue. And don't give, you see? That's why we say B1. Now I'm the one that brought up, I made up the B and D1. I mean, B and B1, not D1. But B1 is something that Foundation of Black Americans have been talking about initially. And I want to say it's Black Authority that brought that up, but don't hold me to who actually officially did it. But I think it was him. At least I've been the one crediting him for that. But anyway, because I thought so. But the point is, our goal is not to be R1, D1, no, B1, because that means you keep the agenda of our people at the forefront, not your favorite party. Because you'll justify some madness that you shouldn't be justifying. Yes? Family, Joy used that network to silence us. And now we supposed to care about her being silenced? Joy knowingly. Do y'all understand that? Not accidentally. Joy knowingly and willingly did so. She did it on too many multiple occasions in very egregious ways, but I wanted to give you at least one example to where she specifically named and targeted us. And they've been doing it for years to undermine us. And what did Foundation of Black Americans do? We got stronger. What did we continue to do on this side? We kept using our platforms. I was on different platforms. Stuff didn't work out the way I wanted it to initially on some of the other platforms, but baby, guess what? I believed in the work I was doing. It didn't matter if I was talking to 200 live or 2,000 or more. It didn't matter if that video that day, 3, 4, 5 days later got 2,000 or 20,000 or 200,000 from time to time. I was consistent, and over time, it started to resonate with the streets. Do you all understand it's very dangerous to underestimate your own power? Do you all understand that it is very, very dangerous to consider what you do to be nothing and small and insignificant? How many of you all know this is what I teach my spiritual students? When you do the right thing, it's important. But what's really most important and what's effective is when you do the right thing long enough. I said it's not just that you're doing the right thing. That's what makes us effective. It's when you do the right thing. What did I say? Long enough. And they were throwing attacks. They were trying to censor us. They were trying to demonetize us. They were trying to label us. They were trying to smear us. I know all about that, baby. I know about being targeted. I know about going through unjust cases and circumstances and situations. I know about that before I came online. And I've had to withstand acts of threats of violence, lies, smear campaigns, and some more stuff. And I'm still here. And somebody say we, because this don't work because of one person. We are still here. And I want you all to understand that you were such a threat. They did all of that to stop you, to prevent, frustrate, and fall. But how many of you all know that we're so important, we're so real, we're so effective? Come close. I promise you, I brush my teeth. I even use mouthwash. I'm almost done. We're so effective in what we did over time. And I just showed you that clip. I wanted to use that clip in particular. It specifically reminds you of the whole time watching that little short part of that segment. It was 2019, y'all. That's just one of many examples. And thankfully it's recorded. Watch this. We're so effective that what happened? They lost the presidency, the White House. The Democrats did. They lost the Senate, the upper house of Congress, and they lost the House of Representatives, the lower rung of Congress. We don't need no chit chat about who is running stuff and who's controlling the narrative. We don't have to sit here and chit chat about what we think about nothing. How many of y'all know what the ancients taught? You will know them by their fruit. So when you're done talking, when you're done bringing out all your professional experts, when you're done with all your little shiny chirons and stuff, at the end of the day, did the masses of Black folks do what the establishment said, legacy media said, the Democrat talking heads and the boule type said? Or were they in line with what you heard your alternative Black media outlets, just like this one, African Diaspora News Channel? That should tell you everything you need to know. This is why I tell you, if you don't get your notifications, be intentional about watching them, looking for them. If you missed the live, go and watch the replay later. Share it. I don't care if you got 2 people following you. You don't know who's watching and how it might affect them. Support. Download the app. Do what needs to be done, because if you can acknowledge that we're at war, do you think for 1 minute that the opposition is going to fund your side of the war? Do you think they're going to make it easy for us to fight by controlling the narrative and having people to speak on your behalf, which media is a part of warfare? Do you think that they're going to make all that easy and fun? No, and no. And did I say no? I can say so much more, but I don't need to, because what she said was very clear. It was very specific, and I don't even need to drag her, right? You see the agenda, and you see the year that she did it, one of many examples. So the question is, it's up to us to keep the pressure on the forces that sit, on the people and the individuals that were involved in that. Yes, I'm going to talk more about that later. I've got to stop for now. My time is up. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm typically here live Tuesday through Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern. Of course, don't forget to check out Brother Phil. He's here normally weekly, or certainly weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. And be sure also to support my other wonderful colleagues' broadcast. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in.